The GreensGroomer is a premier synthetic turf groomer. Designed for all synthetic turf infill systems, the GreensGroomer stands turf fibers up, levels infill material, and relieves compaction in a single pass. When you receive your GreensGroomer, it's necessary to complete a few initial steps before you can get to work on your field. First, it's important that you are always working on a level surface in order to allow the finished product to operate effectively. When the GreensGroomer arrives, the drawbar will be disconnected from the main unit. Remove the washers, nuts, and bolts from the drawbar. Next, slide the drawbar into place between the tabs on the GreensGroomer frame. Working from the outside of the frame inward, slide the bolt through the tab holes of the drawbar and frame. Secure the washer and nut onto the bolt. Using a 3/4 inch socket and a 3/4 inch wrench, tighten the nuts so they fit snugly, but be sure not to over-tighten. When attached properly, the bar should move up and down freely. Use a 3/4 inch wrench to loosen the curved arm. Place the arm in position with the drawbar. Remove the bolt, washers, and nuts from the curved end, and then use them to attach the arm to the drawbar. Be sure not to completely tighten the curved arm bolt. To attach the spring tine rake, make sure the wheels are slightly down on the GreensGroomer. Remove the nut, lock washer, and flat washer from the two bolts at the end of the electric actuator arm. Remove the nuts and bolts attached to the tabs of the spring tine rake. Slide the rake onto the bolts of the electric actuator arm. Line up the tabs on the rake with the tabs on the GreensGroomer. Place the bolt and washer through the tabs. Place the nuts and washers onto the bolts that are through the tabs. Attach the flat washer, lock washer, and nut to the GreensGroomer arm. It's important that the tab bolts are secured tightly. Tighten with a 3/4 inch socket and wrench. Finally, tighten the nuts and washers to the electric actuator bracket. To attach the rear brush to the spring tine rake, slide the brush into place and insert 3 bolts through the appropriate holes on the GreensGroomer and brush. Attach the washers and nuts. In order for it to work effectively during the grooming process, it's important that the brush is level when being attached. The rear brush attachment is adjustable. As the brushes wear down over time, you can loosen the nuts, lower the brush so it's level with the ground, and retighten. To attach the GreensGroomer to your service vehicle, raise the drawbar to the hitch and insert the pin. Place the bridge pin through the hole on the pin. In order for the GreensGroomer to work, it must be attached to a battery power source. Simply attach the alligator clips to the battery of your vehicle. Test the power by raising and lowering the unit with the control buttons. Once you are assured the power is working properly, secure the power cord in place. When storing the GreensGroomer, do not place it with the brushes down. The bristles will bend and remain that way permanently. Slightly lower the wheels so the brushes are off the ground. When transporting the unit, be sure to completely lower the wheels, raising the GreensGroomer. To use the GreensGroomer, raise the wheels completely. This allows all 14 brushes to properly groom the field. The GreensGroomer should travel 8 to 10 miles per hour in order to effectively groom the field. To achieve this, the towing vehicle should have a minimum of 11 to 13 horsepower. When you groom the field, static will cause some of the infill to jump and attach to the side of the blades. This will make the turf appear darker or dirty. The static will dissipate in 24 to 48 hours, or possibly earlier if it rains. The entire GreensGroomer can easily be cleaned after use with a rake, broom, or compressed air.